Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Dave Thompson, and I'm excited to bring you back to our Civil Human Bible study. There we go. We've got some video feed going. I'm excited to bring you back. And actually, we're on site today in Truckee, which is Northern California, right near the Nevada border. And it's beautiful out here. I'd love to turn the camera to show some pine tree, maybe at the end of the show today. I'm Reverend Dave Thompson, and I'm a civil human minister. And what that means is that I focus my ministry on building human peace and common ground. And so in that effort, I'm actually looking at my own spiritual heritage and looking at the scriptures and specifically the teachings of Jesus to try to find those teachings that I feel are universally applicable across the board to all humans, regardless of our different faiths, our different lifestyles, and our different politics. So if you join with me, we're reading from Matthew chapter 22, verses 15 through 22. Starting in verse 15. Then the Pharisees went out and plotted how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent to him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are true, and teach the way of God in truth, nor do you care about anyone, for you do not regard the person of men. Tell us, therefore, what do you think? Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, "Why do you test me, you hypocrites? Show me the tax money." So they brought him a denarius. And he said to them, "Whose image is on and inscription is this?" They said to him, "Caesar's." And he said to them, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." When they heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. Today we're talking about a really important, well, hold on a second, stand by. Hopefully our video isn't freezing anymore. Are we clear? Stand by 1 second. We've got good streaming. Well, we're going to try it anyway here. So this is a conversation that Jesus is having with the Pharisees. Actually, it's a student of the Pharisees who are essentially like apprentices to the Pharisees. And then the Herodians also. Now the Herodians were basically a political party that were big fans of King Herod, who was the king of Judea, which is the section of Israel that Jerusalem is in, and where this is all transpiring. And at this point, they're looking for a way to trap Jesus. They're looking for a way to make him look like he doesn't know what he's talking about, or make him look like he is wrong, or that he's politically motivated to be on Caesar's side. And so they're asking him a really difficult question in order to kind of ensnare him in this conversation. They're asking him about whether or not he supports giving taxes to Rome or not. This is an incredibly delicate conversation to have, because most of the Israelites, if not all of them, do not like the fact that they are taxed by Rome, and yet they have to pay taxes to them. And they also have to pay taxes to the Pharisees and to the temple. So it's a lot of taxes having to be paid. So they come to Jesus and they say, "Hey, you know, what do you think? Do we have to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" There are a side of people who would love Jesus to say, "No, we shouldn't pay taxes to Caesar because Caesar is not even within our own nation and doesn't really believe the same things that we do. Caesar stands for different gods and different ways of living, and that's not something that we stand for, and therefore we shouldn't give them money." That's what one side want to do, and that's the Herodians and the Pharisees actually as well. They want Rome out. They want to have Israel back and to have some power over themselves again. But Jesus is going to sidestep this, and I really appreciate that. And I'm going to talk about this in the end, but the fact that Jesus sidesteps the politics of the day and goes right to what the message and the intent and the purpose is of his ministry and his purpose. So he tells them, hey, give me a coin. And the poll tax actually is what they call it. It's this tax that Rome levies on every citizen within the Roman Empire. They pay a basic tax per head. And so this one they give him is a denarius. We don't really know if that's what it is. It just says a tax coin. So whatever it is, the amount that they owed, they pulled this coin out that would have taken care of that and showed Jesus. And he goes, so whose face is on there? And then they say to him, well, it's Caesar's face. Because of this time, this is coin that was Roman coin, and you had to pay Roman tax with Roman coin, of course. And so they say, look, it's Caesar, because all of the coinage back then, at this time, is going to have the picture of Caesar on them. So it's designated Roman money. And they say, well, it's Caesar's image on the coin. And so Jesus points out very simply, and I love this, then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and make sure you give to God what is God's. This is one of the more maybe not referenced parts of the story of Jesus, because it seems like, well, Jesus is endorsing having to pay taxes, and especially taxes to a foreign government and to a government that they don't stand for. So why in the world is Jesus giving this blessing on Israel to have to pay taxes to Rome? It's going to infuriate some people. Well, he says this for this reason, because if it's Caesar's, then you got to pay for Caesar's. The fact is, whether they liked it or not, they were using coin that was created by and managed by and endorsed by the Roman Empire. And they trusted that currency to be stable. They trusted trade and commerce to be able to be conducted with those coins. And as a result, Jesus is pointing out, look, okay, you are relying on Rome for something, so you need to pay Rome what it's due in those aspects. And that's not where he stops. But he spins it back around at them and says, okay, now that you've done this, make sure that you do the same thing for God. Why does this matter? Why does it even matter that Jesus says this? It seems like, yeah, okay, of course, yeah, we're going to give our stuff to God too, because they're not even thinking about that. Jesus is talking to a group of people who are receiving the money that all of the people in Israel are paying to the temple. He's talking to these teachers who receive the actual temple tax from people. They live off of it, and they live very well off of it. And so Jesus points out to them, then give what is God's to God's. In other words, yeah, okay, you're going to pay to Caesar what is owed, the taxes, but you need to give the money that has been given to you back to the service of helping others. I like that about Jesus. Especially, I like that he never got political. Sure, he talked about morals and issues that had political consequences, but he stuck to what he knew was the most important in his day. And that was compassion, these basic virtues that we have to live by. And that understanding transfers 2,000 years into our future. The fact is, many in the church have become entangled with politics. They've sought to legislate morality and to find a way to grow in power. But I think what is noted most specifically in this account, and what is maybe a good lesson for us, is that the person of Jesus actually focuses on doing these good deeds, of helping the poor and the sick, of taking care of those who are in need and those who are suffering. He doesn't go to Caesar, he doesn't go to the Pharisees of the Sanhedrin or Herod himself, the king of Judea. He doesn't go that route because he knows the only way to truly have impact on society is to get in there and start doing something, to start living these virtues and to teaching people these virtues as well. Instead of trying to force our morality on people, just like we are given the option in life to decide what we want to believe. In the same way, we should allow other people to have that same choice, to not force our own conclusions on others. It's been a difficult thing for me as a civil human minister. One of my, I guess, platforms, if you will, or foundational pillars is that I will not be political, that I will not endorse a political party or a political candidate. And I do that very intentionally because my work is focusing on human peace and common ground. And I can't do that if I stand for something that immediately divides people. Not on the issues that I care about, but on the issues that are specific to a political platform. And those things change with time. The things I want to focus on are those values that do not change. And they're 2,000 years removed, and they're still having an impact on society. I might encourage you today. There probably are a lot of people egging you on to be politically driven and to seek to control the populace and to control people through law and through political power. I might encourage you to consider a different direction. I think that virtues and good deeds move people and create an eager want in them to be better themselves. I was quite frustrated over the last few days due to a lot of the political stuff that's going on. And I came to the store, actually, it was the other night, and this lady was at her car and couldn't find something to take her from her car to the cart. And so I offered my arm to her to see if she needed help, to walk. And so she did, and she grabbed my arm and I took her over to her cart. And I realized something, that all the frustration that I had felt about all the politics and the crazy chaos in society, it subsided for just a moment. And I was filled with this joy and happiness because I helped somebody. It made me feel good inside. And that's where I'm going to start and continue to work, is to do good things and to talk about good things. I might encourage you to do the same. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. Hopefully the video was clean enough. We'll go back and take a look later. But until tomorrow, when I'll probably see you in the studio again, I want to tell you that I really do love you. And I hope you choose to love yourself. It is the only love that we have any control over. And now I do ask that you join me as we go about the rest of our day, loving our neighbors the same way. Thank you.